Let's see it.
Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show.
It's the Charlie Bahama Show. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Charlie Bahama Show. I am your boy Charlie Bahama, and we are here for a special episode. As you can see, we're backstage here. You see all the tour buses, and this is Bryan Adams and Dave Stewart's tour buses. Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, that's right. And we're gonna be here doing a show with him. We're gonna talk to him and another special treat, his daughter Kaya, okay? As she has her own thing going with Kiss Bang, but we're gonna talk to them about the Eurythmics, the Bahamas, because you may not know it, but Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics lives in Harbor Island, right there in Eleuthera. So we're gonna talk to him all about that and so much more. Come on back, Charlie Bahama. The Charlie Bahama Show is brought to you by KFC. Ignite your senses with the exciting flavors of KFC. And brought to you by Superwash, where they washes you, dries you, presses you 24/7. The Charlie Bahama Show will be right back. Keep up with all things Charlie Bahama by following Charlie Bahama on all our social media pages. Get behind-the-scenes access to Bahamian and international celebrities, along with travel info, tips, photography, and video. Like, share, and follow Charlie Bahama on all social media platforms. And subscribe to our Charlie Bahama YouTube page to catch up on all past episodes and bonus clips. You can also go to charliebahama.com anytime. We always keep the lights on. The Charlie Bahama Show. All that same flair with a little less hair.
Yeah.
We exposed 5 strangers to different KFC menus to see if the flavor can enhance any moment. And at the first bite, the party began. We repeated the experiment during the day, during business hours, on weekends, with sunshine, with rain. It's confirmed, any moment can be a KFC moment.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana. Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those spokesmen. They got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these 2 models, they ain't gotta change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show. And as I promised, the legend himself, Dave Stewart, is in the house or in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And it has been, I mean, we've spoken to each other over 4 years. We've seen each other in Harbor Island. And a lot of people might not know that you make Harbor Island your home as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just so, you know, such an honor to have you on this show. And we are on tour because we were supposed to get together in Harbor Island, but you're so busy all over the world. But we caught up together.
Exactly.
Caught up together here, backstage in Miami. So we're in the dressing room. So Dave, welcome to the Charlie Bahama Show. And I mentioned the Bahamas. So tell me, when was the first time you saw the Bahamas and what made you want to stay?
Well, the first time, Annie and I were recording in Compass Point in 1984. And I stayed at, one of the little cottages on the sea. And I'll tell you a funny story. I was driving along the road going to the airport to pick up my girlfriend at the time, and I was thinking, it was the first time in my life I thought, I must be doing okay. I'm in this open top Jeep, because Annie and I had been living poorly in a squat and no money and like struggling. And as I was thinking this to myself, I was thinking, it's great. First time I've got some money in the bank and the sun's shining through the trees, and all of a sudden I saw this tiny black dot, and as it flew towards me, it sort of smashed me in the glasses. The car went careering off the road and, nearly died. I could have easily, and I thought to myself, well, that's God's way of telling me, you know, yeah, I might be doing all right, but at any moment it might go pear-shaped. And it was actually a ripe plum or something like that. It just happened to drop off the tree at that point, land on these sort of Ray-Ban glasses, and in a split second. And I've always felt like that, you know, that no matter what you're doing and how you're doing, any millisecond in the day could just be boom, everything changed.
Wow. And then from that, you'd think you would be like, I'm not coming back to the Bahamas again.
Oh, no, it was nothing to do with the Bahamas. It was the flying plum incident. No, I loved it down there. Although already I knew that where we were on Compass Point was very different to lots of parts of Nassau. Right. And I had been, when I was a young kid, our family got a postcard from somebody, and it had a palm tree on it, and it came from Grenada. And when I was about 15 or 16, I did my first interview. And, you know, the local newspaper, and they're saying, so, now you've been on the radio and the local TV, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'll probably move to the Caribbean, give guitar lessons. But I had no idea what the Caribbean was or anything. I'd just seen this postcard. So it was weird years later when I went, oh yeah, I am here in, got a place in Jamaica, and, you know, but my main sort of place where I live most of the time and record is in the Bahamas.
Yeah, and you mentioned Compass Point because somebody who was important to me as well and a mentor to me was Chris Blackwell. Mm-hmm. And so when I found out that Chris Blackwell also played an important part in your career, I was like, wow, you know?
He signed me when I was 19 to Island Music, and so I had the great fortune of coming from a town up in the northeast of England, Sunderland, to London, and he had this church studio in Basing Street, and in there I actually met Bob Marley in there, who'd come to do I think he's going to play at Finsbury Park at the Rainbow Theatre, and I think that's a famous recording of No Woman, No Cry, and many other great artists. He created this like great little community, which, you know, now I've sort of adopted all during the 80s. Now I built a church in London. Well, I didn't personally build it, but and so many artists have recorded there. And then when I was in Los Angeles, my house had a studio, and hello there.
The lead singer.
Yeah, the lead singer there. And that house in Encino was next to my friend Tom Petty, and it ended up being the meeting place of all these gangs of artists, musicians, so Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, George Harrison, Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne. That was where they made the Troubling Wilburys album. And that's where lots of artists recorded. Wherever I go, I always tend to build the studio first, and then somewhere to live. and it becomes like a little creative center, and that's what I like.
Well, that's the thing about you, creativity. I mean, you're obviously an amazing musician, but also even going way back to your Eurythmics days, the music was so ahead of its time, but the visuals were also ahead of its time. And I see with everything you do, it's like sort of Dave Stewart creative. It's not even just music; it's just everything. I mean, where'd that come from? Were your parents like super creative as well, or?
Well, my mum. I mean, see, I'm from a place in the northeast of England called Sunderland, and it's very, you know, it was a working class kind of town, lots of coal mines, shipyards, and my dad's father worked down the shipyards, and my dad didn't have shoes till he was 9, you know, wore wooden clogs. My mum, her father died when she was 9 years old.
Wow.
And basically, my mum was very inventive, and even though she had to leave school at 12 to help in the pub that her mother ran for the miners, she had this wild imagination. So sometimes I'd come home from school and the house would be full of people judging an art competition on the wall. And my dad would come in like, what's going on? And during the day, she just decided anybody she met, hey, do a picture and we'll judge it at 4 o'clock or something.
So
And
cool.
or like on the TV, there was a film, Scott of the Antarctic, which was, these guys who like almost froze to death, and this great movie. So she opened all the windows, it was freezing there, covered all the furniture in white sheets from the bed, made a stew in a pot, and when me and my friend and my brother's friends came, I'm like, God, it's freezing here, what's happening? She goes, we're going to watch Scott of the Antarctic. And so we're all like freezing with sleeping bags. So she was always very imaginative, and I think part of it comes from her,
Yeah, that is very, I mean, it just seems like such a whimsical upbringing. So then you go from that to, now I know you came to Compass Point first, but then Harbor Island. What's it like living on Harbor Island for you?
Well, Daryl Hall, who, I made an album with him in 1984 called Three Hearts and the Happy Ending Machine, and made it in the newly built sort of church studios in London, and we had such a great time. We were friends ever since. In fact, I've just made his new album coming out in a few months.
Yeah.
And I made it on Harbor Island. But Daryl told me about Harbor Island in about the late 90s, early 2000s, and he was like, found this amazing place, and he had, built a little place there, and he kept inviting me, but I never went, stupidly. So then I first went, I think it was 2009 or 2010. I stayed at Pink Sands with my family, and I woke up earlier than them. And I wandered around, found this place open, it was called Arthur's Bakery. And I was looking at things he had on the wall, pictures of places and I just was wandering around the island in the early morning. I thought, this is great. And before my wife had woken up, I decided to buy a place there. And, there'd been this place for sale for like 8 years, 8, 9 years, nobody buying it, and it was it was a kind of restaurant and cafe. Actually, it's 200 years old, so it had been all sorts of things, a general store, a house.
Everything, yeah.
And so I thought, this would be great and Robert Arthur said, well, that would be very noisy because that's the main part where the junk canoe arrives and everything. And that's where all of the, it's like the center of town, a lot of noise and bus. And I said, hey, you listen to somebody who plays very loud noise every night. I'm not going to be bothered by the noise of the town or the junk canoe. In fact, I can't wait, And so then I slowly entered into the complex thing of building in the Bahamas, and eventually, created a studio and a place for artists to work. And in fact, I just made part of Vanessa's album there, who's sitting right here, and I've just 2 weeks ago was making Indiara, who's sitting over there, an EP with her, and Bono and Edge came and recorded there, and then all these musicians start arriving, just like when I did it in Encino, just like when I did it in the church in London.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. So what we'll do is we'll go to our first break, and then we'll have
Just a
everybody
little
come
bit.
on in. All right, so more Charlie Bahama with Dave Stewart right after this. The Charlie Bahama Show will be right back.
It all started in 1984 when Wendy's first opened in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Over the years, we've expanded into communities that we proudly serve, leading the charge in exceptional customer service and restaurant growth. These things are the quality in our recipe. Wendy's is truly the place for everyday people, just like you and me. Wendy's is fast food done right.
Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show, and we are here again with the legend Dave Stewart from Eurythmics, as everybody knows. But now we have more of the...
Yeah, we have Vanessa Amorosi from Australia and Indiara Sophia from Brazil. We're about to go on stage in 10 minutes, so everybody's panicking. But we're just going to do a little bit of, I don't know, Here Comes the Rain, maybe something like that.
Sure.
Let's do a little intro with a harmonica. We don't usually do that, but here we go.
Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion. I wanna walk in the open wind, I wanna talk like lovers do, I want to dive into your ocean. Is it raining with you? So baby, talk to me like lovers do. Walk with me like lovers do. Talk to me like lovers do.
And then we have to go.
Wow.
The next part you'll see on the bloody stage.
Oh, so come on back, more Charlie Bahama. This has been a treat. Unbelievable.
All right.
Unbelievable. Come on back.
Thank you. All right.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana. Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those spokes, but they got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these two models, they ain't gotta change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Marco's, the pizza that's perfect for every party, every moment, and every occasion.
Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show, and now I am here with the next generation of Stewart. This is Kaya, and
Hi,
Kaya, it's so
guys.
good to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
We had your dad on, and I've known him before, but I've watched your music as well because of him. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, I was curious. But the first thing I want to know, because you know your dad moved to Harbor Island, so did you get a chance to grow up in the Bahamas a bit or anything?
Absolutely. Harbor Island is such a special place to our family. We grew up going there, and then eventually my family ended up moving there, and it's the most incredible place. We've made so many friends, and there's such an amazing community over there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you know, you're a Stewart, right? And your dad and his partner way back, Eurythmics, they were cutting edge. I mean, really ahead of their time. I mean, the music now still sounds cutting edge.
Absolutely.
Is this influenced your music? Because I know you were with a group, Kiss Bang. Is that what it is? Kiss Bang. Okay, so has that been an influence on you growing up with I mean, your dad is like not only a musician, but he's just so creative in his mind.
Absolutely, yeah. I absolutely think so. I think there's something about watching him create music with someone else. I think the business is so difficult as it is, being able to have a partner that you really trust in what you're making and collaborating so much. But I'm absolutely influenced by his career. I mean, even being on this tour and getting to sing his songs and his music has just been like, I learned so much every day. I've learned everything I know from him, but I'm learning even more being here.
I can imagine. And so talking about that, how is it being on the tour? Like, is he critical? Because he's so laid back and like, I can imagine one of the best dads you could have is like, like you do whatever you want. He's like, do it more.
Yeah.
So how has it been like, being on tour? I know obviously he's your dad, but now to go on tour and you're singing there, and as you say, singing some of these iconic songs.
They're not easy to sing. I mean, he's the least critical. He just, is so excited that we all live, me and my siblings, all over. So for us to be able to spend time together is really amazing. But he's not very critical. I think he's more excited that, he gets to share this part of his life with his kids and that we're old enough now that we can really be a part of it. But I think if anybody's critical, it's me on me, because it's a lot. It's big shoes to fill.
Yeah, for sure, especially singing those songs with such a great singer as Annie Lennox.
Yeah.
Like her voice is amazing as well. Now let's talk about Kiss Bang. Tell me about, I've seen it on YouTube and your videos. I love that too.
Thank you.
Just like Eurythmics. It's like the videos are a whole other, like you could turn the music off and the videos are just so amazing. So tell us about that and what's your sort of the inspiration with some of the songs. And
I think what's so cool is Max and I, my partner in the duo, is we met and instantly knew that we had this like musical connection and that we both loved the same things and we're so passionate about it, and even down to the visuals, not just the music. And I think it's been such an amazing journey making this project, and our first single just came out like a couple weeks ago, and it's so cool to be a part of a project with someone who cares as much about it as you do. And we're gearing up to play South by Southwest after I get off this tour, which is amazing. But yeah, it's a pretty parallel experience to what my dad had done before.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, I mean, I'm so happy that you came on the show and took the time, because this tour is really exciting. I saw you all playing football. Me and my cameraman have I say, the British, and even though you don't have a British accent or anything, but the British say football, but then you said soccer. So what do you think it is, football or soccer?
It depends on the person. I think my family always says football. I'm a soccer person, but I understand both ways.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, listen, if you haven't had a chance, go out there, go to YouTube, and then you can tell them where else to go. Look for Kiss Bang, and you got to watch the videos and just follow their career. What's the where can they see your music?
You can follow us on Instagram at KissBangXO. We're on Spotify. We're on all the streaming platforms now, and there's so much more to come.
Yeah, I put all that up underneath here.
Amazing.
So I put it there on the screen for you. So
awesome.
Thanks so much, Kaya.
Thank you so much for having me.
More Charlie Bahama right after this. If you want more Charlie Bahama, go to any of our social media pages or subscribe to the Charlie Bahama YouTube page.
We exposed 5 strangers to different KFC menus to see if the flavor can enhance any moment. And at the first bite, the party began. We repeated the experiment during the day, during business hours, on weekends, with sunshine, with rain. It's confirmed, any moment can be a KFC moment.
Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show, and we are backstage, and Dave Stewart just got off stage. I'm surprised you have the energy to come and end the show with us. That was amazing, and the crowd, we have footage, and I'm so happy. I mean, this is how creative Dave is. Not only is he playing music, he's directing our camera. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, a fantastic show.
Well, thanks very much, I was only directing the camera because I'm sure he wasn't sure when that bit was going to come. So I was giving him a little hint,
No, that was just amazing. The energy. I mean, how does it make you feel after so many years of playing this song? And the song is timeless. It's like this could have been a hit even now. You know what I mean? Like if it just came out now. How does it make you feel when everybody just knows your
Sweet
songs?
Dreams.
All of them. I mean, you got like Sweet Dreams. You got like 5, 6 songs that people just know that you do, and then obviously people that you write for as well.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, you know, we're only doing an hour set here, but normally we do 2 hours. And because we had like, I don't know, 25 hits, so I know that certain people in the audience had favorite albums, but there's one thing guaranteed: when we start playing Would I Lie to You, Sisters Are Doing for Themselves, Here Comes the Rain Again, and Sweet Dreams at the end. Sweet Dreams, for some reason, has become like Happy Birthday. It's like everybody knows it, and it's played everywhere, in the Bahamas, every country in the world. I was in the middle of Africa, and these kids were dancing around, singing it around me, and you know, wouldn't know who the hell I was. You know, it's just one of those evergreen songs, and it wasn't that we planned it that way.
Right.
It's just trying to make something that you love yourself, and hopefully other people will too. Well, it seemed to work.
Oh no, it did for sure. It's like two kids, and I guess back then you were kids, and it was just about the music. You weren't thinking about fame or fortune, just the music.
No, I'd already been, you know, through a lot of the wrangles of, you know, trying to write songs and be in a band. And Annie and I were in a band before, but we didn't write any of the songs. So this was about just the two of us on our own in a tiny little studio with an 8-track tape recorder, trying to make music that we love. And a lot of it's very emotional, obviously, because Annie and I were a couple, and we lived together for 4 or 5 years. Then
this is what I love, the action backstage. Don't you love this?
Well, I'm used to it.
But this is like, for our viewers, this is like, I mean, getting all access pass to Dave Stewart.
Yeah, well, what I was saying was, you know, we lived together as a couple for about 4 years. We didn't write any songs when we were together, not one each or separately.
Right.
Then we decided to live apart, formed Eurythmics, and wrote about 140 songs in a row or something. So.
Oh man, go figure.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Dave, thank you so much. I mean, for inviting us backstage, being a part of this, you know, the magic of Dave Stewart, and. You know, we've been trying for Harbor Island. We're going to do another show with Dave Stewart in Harbor Island for sure, because in the studio, and then also I want you to take me around your Harbor Island. I mean, I know Harbor Island, but I want Dave Stewart's Harbor Island. So we're going to just, you know, really have a fun time coming over to Harbor Island the next time. But, you know, thank you, and the Bahamian people, thank you for, you know, allowing us, you know, inside your, I guess your
crazy world,
your crazy life, you know.
Thank you.
So, hey, this is going to be another hot episode, and stay tuned. We got so much more. When we're not on, you can always go to Charlie Bahama, Instagram, YouTube, the website or whatever. And also, hey, Dave Stewart, so people can follow all your stuff, davestewart.com, Dave Stewart Entertainment.
DaveStewartENT.com, Dave Stewart Eurythmics.
I'm going to put all that up underneath.
Dave Stewart, basically.
Yeah, basically everything. So follow us both, all right? So more Charlie Bahama next week, all right? Take care.
On harmonica, Indiara Sophia. On saxophone, Jasper Ogilvie. On the bass, Julia Lamb. On vocals, Kaya Stewart. On vocals, Vanessa Amorosi. On vocals, Debbie Alexandra. On drums, Ellie East. And last but not least, the naughtiest of them all, on keyboards and everything, Hannah Koppenburg.